All right, let's talk about something that hits close to home for so many of us: safety. Specifically, how do we make absolutely sure that the places we trust with our most vulnerable loved ones, daycares, assisted living homes, you name it, are truly safe? The answer, it turns out, is probably not what you're thinking. You know the debate. For years, it feels like we've been stuck in this endless loop. Should we pile on more rules to be safer, or should we slash them to be more efficient? But what if? What if that's the wrong question entirely? What if the whole debate is just a distraction? So, first things first, let's take a look at the systems we've already got in place. I'm talking about the maze of rules and regulations that are supposed to be this shield, this bedrock of safety in human services. And we're talking about a really wide range of people here. You've got little kids in childcare, older adults in assisted living, and folks who are getting help for mental health challenges or substance abuse. The one thing they all have in common is vulnerability, and that just raises the stakes incredibly high. And the goal, it's a great one. Nobody's arguing with it. The whole point of this entire complex world of licensing and regulation is to stop harm before it can even start, and to make sure the care people get is top-notch. Sounds simple, right? Well, in reality, it's a lot tougher. So, if the intention is so good, where does it all get so complicated? This really gets to the heart of the problem. Even with everyone meaning well, these systems we've built are under a ton of pressure, and they often end up being just frustrating and complex for pretty much everybody. And here it is, that regulatory tug of war. On one side, you've got people shouting for more rules because they think every new rule is another layer of protection. Then on the other side, you've got people yelling for less regulation, arguing that it'll cut costs and make care easier to get. And both sides are just digging in their heels. But here's the thing. According to experts at the National Association for Regulatory Administration, that's NARA for short, this whole fight completely misses the most important point. The best system isn't about having more rules or fewer rules. It's about having the right rules. And this is where a really powerful new idea comes into play. An approach to safety that's based on actual evidence, not just political shouting matches. And that's the big aha moment. The real solution for creating safer, better care isn't going to be found in a political debate. It's going to be found using science. So that brings us to this term, regulatory science. What is it? Well, it's basically the idea of using real scientific methods, data analysis, risk assessment, to figure out which rules are actually making a difference and which ones aren't. It's about building a system on proof, not just on what we think might work. This is the best way to think about it. It's just like medicine. If you take too little of a drug, it's not going to do anything. Take too much, and it could actually be dangerous. Medical science is all about finding that perfect, just right dose. Regulatory science is trying to do the exact same thing, but for rules, finding that perfect dose of regulation that gives us the most safety without creating a bunch of problems. Now, here's the reality check. As amazing as this all sounds, the field itself is really, really new. It's just getting started. So the promise is huge, but we're basically looking at a new scientific frontier, and that comes with some major challenges. Dr. Fiends sums it up perfectly here. It's kind of a double-edged sword. On the one hand, yeah, it's a little discouraging that there isn't a huge library of studies to pull from yet. But on the other hand, how exciting is that? It means this field is wide open, and there's just so much good that can be done. So what this really means is we have to change how we think. We need to move away from that old model where rules are just dictated from on high. Instead, we need to move towards a system that's adaptive, one that uses science to see what's actually happening on the ground and then adjusts the rules based on that evidence. So the big question is, how do we make this a reality? How do we build this scientific foundation for the future of care? Well, there's a pretty clear path forward, but it's going to take some real urgent action. The roadmap basically has 5 key steps. First, we just plain need more scientists who know this stuff. That means we need universities to create programs to train them. We also have to get regulators and scientists talking and working together way more. And really, really importantly, we need to build this whole thing on a foundation of shared understanding. And that has to include the voices of the people who are actually receiving the care. The great news is we're not starting from zero. An organization like NARA is already out there, leading the charge. They're working right now to build the tools and the training we need to push this field forward and make science-based regulation the new normal. And you can see how this works in the real world when you look at NARA's training course for regulators. They take these core ethical ideas, like do no harm or do good, and they connect them directly to the day-to-day job of licensing, from writing clear rules to making sure enforcement is fair and ethical. So at the end of the day, when it comes to keeping the people we love safe, the choice really seems crystal clear. Do we keep relying on political guesswork and hope for the best? Or do we finally start using science to find the rules that we know will truly keep people safe? The answer could change everything about the future of care.